Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. So, we are here with an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan to talk about the Jagannath Puri temple and how if the art of living practices were introduced and incorporated as part of the system. So, how it can change the working and the administration of the temple and the working of the system throughout India. So, if His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji were to take the position of Shankaracharya of Jagannath Puri, how would this shape the temple's spiritual ecosystem? Yes. Jai Gurudev, it would be a historic moment. Gurudev embodies both ancient wisdom and modern application. As Shankaracharya, he could weave Vedic traditions with art of living practices like sudarshan kriya, sahat samadhi meditation, and pranayamas. Priests, sevaks, and devotees would experience these as daily spiritual disciplines, strengthening both health and devotion. Gurudev's unique ability to make ancient knowledge accessible ensures that the temple becomes a living spiritual university, radiating peace worldwide. The lineage of Shankaracharyas has always preserved Dharma. With Gurudev, it would expand globally. Jagannath Puri would become a lighthouse of both ritual precision and inner transformation. So, how could Sudarshan Kriya be integrated into the daily life of priests and sevaks within the temple? Yes, Sudarshan Kriya is transformative. Priests perform long rituals that require concentration, stamina, and clarity with daily practice. Their energy levels would rise, their mind would remain calm, and their chanting would carry deeper vibrations. Sevaks, who often work tirelessly, would find relief from stress and physical fatigue. From the dharmic side, breath has always been central to spirituality. Prana is life. Integrating Sudarshan Kriya aligns perfectly with the Vedas' emphasis on pranic control. The temple would not only offer darshan of Lord Jagannath, but also pranic darshan through breath-based sadhana. So, how would Sahat Samadhi meditation be made accessible to devotees visiting Jagannath Puri? Yes, Jai Gurudev, we envision meditation halls within the temple complex where guided Sahat sessions are offered throughout the day. Devotees after darshan could sit in silence, experiencing inner darshan. Gurudev always says, meditation is rest for the soul after walking and standing in queues. Meditation restores the energy, making the darshan more profound. Pilgrimage is incomplete without inner silence, just as rituals purify the outer environment. Sahaj purifies the inner environment. Temple management could include meditation in pilgrim packages, making it as natural as prasad distribution. This would redefine pilgrimage from a mere journey to a transformative experience. So, how could ancient rituals like Trikal Sandhya be reimagined with the art of living practices? Yes, Trikal Sandhya emphasizes prayer and reflection at dawn, noon, and dusk. We could enhance it with the pranayama and guided meditation, making the mind sharper for prayer. Instead of mechanical recitation, devotees would experience devotion as living energy. Gurudev often brings mantras with breath, and this integration would deepen the power of Sandhya. Sandhya has always symbolized alignment with the cosmic cycles. Adding structured breathing and meditation complements the mantras with inner stillness. Priests and residents of Puri would live with a higher awareness, harmonizing tradition with innovation. So, what role would study of Gurudev's wisdom through books and videos play in the temple ecosystem? Yes, Jagannath Puri could host a wisdom library and media center where Gurudev's talks, books, and global satsangs are available. Pilgrims often seek guidance beyond rituals, practical wisdom for daily life. These resources would be like an extended satsang, ensuring visitors carry Gurudev's teachings home, sustaining the temple's impact in Sanatan Dharma. Shravana or listening and manana or reflection are vital. By engaging with Gurudev's wisdom, devotees would bridge philosophy with the practice. Jagannath Temple would serve not only as a site of worship but also as a global Gurukul. So, how could Padma Sadhana become a daily ritual for the temple's employees and sevaks? Yes, Padma Sadhana prepares the body for meditation. Priests and employees often spend long hours standing or bending during rituals, which strains the body. Practicing Padma Sadhana early morning in temple courtyards would bring strength, flexibility, and peace. This would also align the body mind with divine service. Yes, Jagannath Gurudev has always been integral to temple culture. By reintroducing Padma Sadhana, we honor both tradition and health. It would make temple workers healthier, more efficient, and more centered in devotion. So, how can Bhojanam Vidhi be transformed through art of living techniques? Yes, Bhojanam Vidhi is about mindful eating. Gurudev teaches eating with gratitude, awareness, and silence. If priests, sevaks, and devotees practice a few minutes of silence and breathing before meals, digestion would improve and food would feel like prasad, not just sustenance. Vedic texts emphasize bhojan as yajna, eating is an offering to Agni within. Integrating Gurudev's emphasis on mindful eating reconnects food with spirituality. Annadanam in Puri could become a mindful spiritual practice, not merely charity. So, how would Shakti Kriya support the priests and temple residents in their spiritual practices? Yes, Shakti Kriya channels Pran Shakti, stabilizing emotions and bringing joy. Priests often absorb devotees' emotional energies by practicing Shakti Kriya. They can remain balanced and radiate positivity. For residents, it deepens devotion, making seva ananda rather than a burden. From a dharmic perspective, every temple is a pranic powerhouse. Shakti Kriya would ensure that individuals remain receptive to divine energy rather than depleted. It complements the rituals of yajna and homa by building the inner fire of prana. So, how could Upanayana and Upakarma rituals be enriched with the art of living meditation practices? Yes, Upanayana introduces children to Gayatri Mantra and spiritual discipline. Adding meditation and pranayama ensures they don't just chant mechanically but experience stillness. Upakarma, being a renewal of vows, would be deeper if performed after guided meditation. Gurudev's approach ensures rituals connect to inner silence. Yes, in Sanatana Dharma, initiation is about opening the inner eye. Gurudev's practices would make the child or devotee feel the mantra vibrate within, making the samskaras alive. This could revive youth engagement with the temple culture. How can the integration of art of living and Vedic dharma and traditions benefit the residents of Puri city itself? Yes, residents would access free meditation camps, yoga sessions, and wisdom satsangs daily. Stress levels would reduce, health would improve, and harmony would flourish. Pilgrims would find a spiritually vibrant city, not just a ritual destination. Puri has always been a sacred dharmic hub. By blending art of living's universal practices with Ayurvedic rituals, the entire city could radiate calmness and positivity. Residents would embody seva and spirituality, becoming ambassadors of Jagannath's grace. So, how could temple homas be integrated with group meditations for pilgrims? Yes, homas generate tremendous energy, but many pilgrims do not know how to internalize it after each homa. Devotees could be guided into meditation to absorb that energy. Gurudev often says meditation is the way to receive. Imagine a fire ritual followed by silence. This combination would magnify the effect, leaving devotees blissful. So, in Vedic tradition, yajna is both external and internal. Adding meditation completes the cycle. The external fire unites with the inner fire. Pilgrims would carry that glow beyond the temple, sustaining Jagannath's blessings in their daily lives. Yes, Jagadev. So, how would Sudarshan Kriya help priests manage the pressures of daily temple duties? Yes, priests often rise before dawn, perform multiple rituals, and interact with thousands of devotees daily. This can cause fatigue and stress. Sudarshan Kriya releases toxins, balances emotions, and rejuvenates energy. With regular practice, priests would feel lighter and more joyful in their service, chanting with deeper devotion. The Vedas describe the priest as a channel for divine energy. If the channel is stressed, the rituals lose vitality. Breath practices cleanse the channel, ensuring rituals carry full potency. This is Dharma in action. Purity within translates to purity outside. How might guided meditations be offered to international pilgrims who may not know Sanskrit? Yes, Gurudev has always bridged languages, guided meditations in English, Hindi, Odia, and other languages can be offered in meditation halls. Even foreign visitors could experience silence without understanding Sanskrit mantras. Meditation is beyond language, it is experiential. This would make Jagannath Puri truly universal. Yes, Jagannath Dharma has always welcomed seekers from all lands. In fact, Jagannath is known as Lord of the Universe, offering meditations in multiple languages reflects Jagannath's universality and expands the temple's relevance to global pilgrims. How would a temple seva be enriched by introducing pranayama practices? Yes, seva requires energy, focus, and joy. Sevaks often work long hours in kitchens, queues, and temple maintenance. A few minutes of bhastrika or nari shodhan pranayama before seva would energize them and clear the mind of agitation. This then seva becomes celebration, not exhaustion. Jagurudeva Seva is central to temple life. If sevaks are trained in pranayama, they will serve with a sattvic mind free from irritation or tiredness. This matches Bhagavad Gita's teachings of yoga karma supashalam. Skill in action pranayama makes seva skillful and devotional. So, how could temple festivals be expanded with the large scale group meditations? Yes, festivals already draw thousands of pilgrims alongside rituals. Massive group meditations could be held in open rounds led by trained instructors. This would create waves of peace, amplifying the spiritual vibration of the festival. It would also prevent the chaos that sometimes comes with the large gatherings. Festivals are meant to uplift consciousness. Meditation ensures the energy of the festival doesn't remain external but penetrates the heart. Imagine Rath Yatra combined with millions meditating. It would be both spectacle and silence, devotion, and inner depth. So, how could temple Annadanam benefit from Art of Living's mindful eating approach? Yes, Jagadev, Annadanam feeds thousands daily, but often people eat hurriedly. If we introduce 1 minute of silence, a short gratitude chant, and awareness of breath before meals, the experience transforms. People digest better, food wastage reduces, and meals become spiritual nourishment. Food is prasad from Jagannath's great kitchen, the Mahaprasad. By eating mindfully, devotees will honor it fully. This small change can restore the sanctity of Annadanam, ensuring it's not just physical nourishment but spiritual communion with the Lord. So, how would temple management benefit from meditation practices? Temple management involves stress or crowd control, finances, rituals, and staff coordination. Regular meditation would help managers make calm, wise decisions. Gurudev often says a calm mind is the best problem solver. Leaders in temple administration would embody patience and efficiency. Dharma administration requires both dhriti or patience and viveka or discrimination. Meditation cultivates both instead of conflicts. Decisions will flow harmoniously, aligning temple governance with dharmic values. This could be a model for other temples across Bharat. Jagadev, so how can local youth of Puri be engaged through art of living programs? Yes, Jagadev, local youth often feel disconnected from traditional temple culture. By offering guest plus programs, yoga workshops, and meditation camps. They can experience spirituality in a modern context. This would make them proud custodians of Jagannath's culture, blending tradition with relevance. Youth are Dharma's future. If they see the temple not just as a ritual but as a hub of wisdom and transformation, they will carry it forward. Blending art of living with Vedic samskaras can reawaken pride and heritage among youth and young generation. How could temple workers' physical health improve through Padma Sadhana and yoga? Yes, Gurudev, temple workers often face physical strain of standing, bending, lifting heavy objects. Padma sadhana and yoga would strengthen their spine, improve flexibility, and prevent chronic pains. This would make their service sustainable and joyful. Our Shastras always include yoga as a daily discipline. If workers practice it, their health improves, reducing medical expenses and absenteeism. They serve the Lord with strength and enthusiasm, embodying the union of body, mind, and spirit. How might the integration of Vedic chanting and guided meditation enrich pilgrims' experiences? Yes, Jagadip, chanting purifies the environment, meditation purifies the inner space. By combining both, pilgrims would feel uplifted externally and internally. A short guided meditation after Vedic chanting would ensure the sound vibrations settle deeply within, leading to blissful silence. This is precisely the essence of Dharma. Sound and silence together. Mantra leads to meditation, and meditation empowers mantra. Pilgrims would not just hear chanting but experience its living presence in their own hearts. So, how could Sudarshan Kriya be introduced to the millions of pilgrims who come during Rath Yatra. Yes, Jagannath, during Rath Yatra, devotees often wait for hours in crowds, setting up sudarshan kriya camps and open grounds or community halls around Puri would allow pilgrims to experience rhythmic breathing before or after darshan. Even short mini kriya sessions would refresh them. This would transform their exhaustion into joyful energy. Rath Yatra is symbolic of the Lord moving out to meet the people by offering Sudarshan Kriya to all. It is like the Lord gifting prana itself. The entire city would breathe in unison, creating an ocean of peace. Jagadev, so how can Sahat Samadhi meditation be offered as part of pilgrim accommodations? Yes, guest houses and dharamshalas attached to the temple can include Sehat Samadhi sessions in their daily schedule. After darshan, guests could be invited to practice meditation. This ensures their pilgrimage is not just about seeing the deity but experiencing the deity within. It makes their stay transformative. A true yatra gives both darshan and inner darshan and outer darshan as well. By embedding Sehat Samadhi into accommodations, pilgrims leave with something permanent, an inner tool they can carry home. This makes Puri not only a destination but a training ground for inner life. Jagadev, so how would temple rituals benefit if priests practice daily Shakti Kriya? Yes, priests often channel collective devotion. Shakti Kriya stabilizes their emotions, balances energies, and deepens their connection with the divine. With it, their chanting and rituals would have enhanced resonance as the inner energy, field would be fully alive. Rituals would no longer feel mechanical but charged with joy. In Vedic rituals, purity of the performer is as important as the ritual itself. Shakti Kriya purifies mind and prana. Thus, rituals would flow with greater Shakti, benefiting every devotee present. The deity's grace would be felt more tangibly. So, how could temple pujas be combined with group pranayama for devotees? Yes, Jagudev, before puja, devotees could be guided through Nadi Shodhan pranayama and Bhastrika pranayamas. This would calm their minds and energize their bodies. When the puja begins, they would chant with focus and receptivity. Gurudev always emphasizes preparing the mind before prayer. Pranayama makes that preparation practical. Mantra without focus loses its power. By adding pranayama, devotees become tuned instruments. Their collective chanting during puja would radiate much stronger vibrations. The temple environment would become an ocean of both sound and silence. Jai Gurudev, so how can temple education programs include Gurudev's wisdom for children? Yes, Jagadev, children visiting Puri could join short interactive workshops combining yoga, stories from Gurudev's books, and playful meditations. This would make spirituality joyful rather than heavy. Such programs ensure children develop a love for temple culture and carry values back home. Our tradition emphasizes samskaras from childhood. By integrating Gurudev's wisdom into temple classes, we plant seeds of devotion, discipline, and joy. These children will later become guardians of both the temple and dharma. How could festivals like Chandan Yatra be enhanced with the meditation? Yes, Jagaddev, Chandan Yatra involves cooling rituals for the deity. For devotees, guided cooling pranayamas and meditations could be conducted simultaneously. Recently, Gurudev said for a healthy body and mind, you need the head to be cool, the stomach to be soft, and the legs to be warm. As a Lord receives sandal paste, devotees would experience inner coolness. This would connect outer rituals with the inner state. Festivals are symbolic reflections of human needs. By meditating alongside rituals, devotees embody the symbolism. Chandan Yatra would no longer be only visual but experiential. The Lord's coolness would mirror in their minds. How might temple kitchens integrate mindful cooking practices? Yagodevia's Art of Living teaches that food absorbs the cook's vibrations. If cooks begin with short meditations and chanting before preparing Mahaprasad, the food becomes charged with positivity. Silence during cooking with gratitude in the heart ensures food is not only nourishing but spiritually elevating. Vedic texts describe cooking as yagya. By cooking mindfully, the Mahaprasad becomes infused with divine energy. Pilgrims eating it would feel inner peace, not just satiety. This revives the sacredness of Annaseva. Yeah, Gurudev, yes. So, how can temple music and kirtans benefit from art of living techniques? Yes, Jagannath, Art of Living emphasizes singing with devotion and awareness of breath. Training temple musicians in breath work and meditation would make their kirtans more soulful. Their voices would carry not just melody but spiritual energy, uplifting listeners. In Vedic tradition, music is nada yoga or sound as a part of divinity. If musicians meditate before performing, their music would not be entertainment but direct transmission of devotion. Pilgrims would experience bhakti at its purest. How could Trikal Sandhya become a public practice in Puri city? Yes, Jagurudev, the whole city could pause at dawn, noon, and dusk for 5 minutes of collective prayer, pranayama, and silence. Loudspeakers from the temple could guide residents. This would synchronize the city with the cosmic rhythms, making everyday life sacred. Sandhya is about aligning with universal cycles. If the entire city participates, Puri would become a dharmic clock for the world. Every visitor would witness how daily life can be infused with divine rhythm. Jagadev, so how would temple training schools for priests look if infused with art of living practices? Jagadevya's training would combine rigorous Vedic study with the daily yoga, sudarshan, kriya, and meditation. Priests would not only know rituals but embody calmness, compassion, and joy. This would create a new generation of holistic spiritual leaders. Priesthood is not just ritual knowledge but character building. By training in both Vedic Dharma and Gurudev's practices, priests would become shining examples of wisdom, discipline, and inner peace. This would elevate the global image of Jagannath Puri. Jagadev, so how can Sandhya Vandanam be made more experiential with meditation? Yes, many devotees mechanically recite Sandhya Vandanam without connecting to its essence. If each session begins with pranayama and ends with silent meditation, devotees would feel the Gayatri Mantra vibrating within. Gurudev always emphasizes that prayer is incomplete without silence. This approach would transform Sandhya Vandanam into a living spiritual experience rather than a ritual formality. So, in Vedic thought, mantras are seeds of silence. By adding meditation, Sandhya Vandanam regains its original purpose to tune the mind with the cosmic intelligence. Thus, the daily practice becomes deeply fulfilling for both priests and devotees. Jagadev, so how can temple visitors be introduced to simple daily breathing practices? Short guided sessions of Nadi Shodhan Pranayama or Ujjayi Pranayama can be offered in waiting areas before darshan. Even 5 minutes of practice would calm anxiety and bring inner stillness. This ensures that devotees reach the sanctum with a peaceful state of mind. Breathing practices make the darshan more heartfelt. The Rig Veda calls breath the bridge between body and the spirit. By introducing simple pranayamas to visitors, we allow everyone from children to elders to touch spirituality immediately. It's an easy universal practice that aligns perfectly with temple culture. So, how can temple workshops teach both Vedic rituals and modern meditation? Temple halls could host daily workshops where priests explain rituals while art of living instructors lead meditations. This bridges intellectual understanding with direct experience. Visitors would leave knowing not only how rituals are done, but why and what they awaken within. Knowledge without practice remains dry. Practice without knowledge may confuse. A workshop combining both ensures devotees truly grasp the essence of Dharma. This holistic model could set a precedent for all sacred sites in Bharat. So, how could group satsangs transform the atmosphere of Puri city? Yes, large scale satsangs with bhajans, guided meditations, and Gurudev's wisdom talks would make the city vibrate with joy. Pilgrims would experience not just rituals but also the collective bliss of singing and meditating together. This would turn the entire city into a satsang hall. Satsang is Sangha and Satya gathering in truth. If the entire city echoes with devotional songs and meditation, Jagannath's presence becomes palpable everywhere. It would make Puri a city of light and sound merging into silence. Jagadev, so how would temple staff training programs benefit from Sudarshan Kriya? Yes, Jagudev staff often handle stressful tasks like crowd management and logistics. Sudarshan Kriya would help them release stress, improve focus, and maintain compassion while serving. Calm staff create a calm atmosphere for pilgrims. It would transform temple administration into a model of mindful service. Serving Lord Jagannath is a sacred duty. If staff are internally balanced, seva flows naturally. Breath practices make them calm warriors of dharma, discipline, kind, and efficient. This reflects the essence of karma yoga. Jai Gurudev, so how can temple gardens be used for meditation and yoga? Yes, temple gardens can become open meditation spaces where visitors sit in silence under trees after darshan. Morning yoga sessions in these gardens would refresh pilgrims. Nature and silence together amplify meditation's impact, making the experience serene and memorable. Gardens in temples represent the cosmic forest where rishis meditated. By reviving this, we honor our tradition. Devotees practicing yoga in sacred gardens would feel as if they are in an ashram within the temple itself. Jai Gurudev. So, how can Upkarma ceremonies integrate modern seekers? Yes, Upakarma renews spiritual vows. Today's seekers often look for deeper meaning by adding meditation, reflection sessions, and Gurudev's wisdom talks. The ceremony would become highly relevant. Participants would not only perform rituals but also renew their inner connection with the divine. Renewal is the essence of Dharma. If Upakarma combines mantra with meditation, both traditional and modern seekers find fulfillment. It ensures rituals are not outdated but living, evolving practices aligned with consciousness. Jagadev, so how can Jagannath's concept of universality be reflected in meditation halls? Jayagurudev, yes, Jagannath means Lord of the Universe. Meditation halls would host people from all religions and backgrounds, teaching them breath and silence. This inclusivity reflects the Lord's universality. The temple would become a global symbol of unity through meditation. The Vedas proclaim Ekam Sadvipra Bahuda Vadanti, truth is one, sages call it by many names. A meditation hall open to all reflects this very spirit. Jagannath Puri would embody true universality, bridging faiths. Jagadev, so how could temple rituals help heal mental health challenges in society? Yes, many devotees come burdened with anxiety, depression, or grief. By combining rituals with meditation and sudarshan kriya, the temple could serve as a healing space. Silence heals the mind, rituals uplift the spirit. Together, they address modern stress like nothing else. In Dharma, the temple is a hospital for the soul. If we align rituals with breath and meditation, devotees would find relief from inner suffering. Jagannath Puri could become a sanctuary of mental wellness alongside spiritual salvation. How might Art of Living's Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 deepen temple experiences? A Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 combine silence, meditation, and mindfulness. If offered in temple retreat spaces, pilgrims could spend a day or two in silence while engaging in rituals. Their darshan would then be profoundly deeper. Silence allows them to feel Jagannath in their hearts. Dharma is both pravrati or action and nivriti or withdrawal. Sayam sadhana of level 1 and level 2 represents nivritti or stepping back into silence. If pilgrims engage in this alongside rituals, they balance out a devotion with the inner stillness. This makes Puri an unparalleled pilgrimage experience. How would the seva or selfless service tradition in Jagannath Puri be deepened if Gurudev's teachings on selfless service were formally introduced to the sevayats and temple workers? Seva in Gurudev's vision is not a duty but an expression of joy. If temple sevayats imbibe this, every act, be it sweeping the corridors, cooking the Mahaprasad, or assisting devotees, becomes sacred. Sudarshan Kriya and Padma Sadhana will help them release fatigue and frustration. So service becomes from a calm heart. When this is combined with ancient Puri tradition, Seva becomes holistic. The Sevayat feels cared for through practice, and the temple aura glows brighter to their uplifted energy, benefiting devotees and preserving Jagannath culture. Jagudev, could Sudarshan Kriya play a role in addressing the stress faced by large crowds during Rath Yatra at Puri? Absolutely, the Rath Yatra draws millions and crowd stress often creates agitation. If volunteers, police, and sevaks practice Sudarshan Kriya, Their nervous system will remain calm amidst chaos. They will carry an aura of peace that diffuses tension. Training camps before the festival can empower them to handle emergencies gracefully. Even small guided meditations announced from temple loudspeakers can calm devotees. When inner peace meets outer devotion, the Rath Yatra atmosphere becomes both safe and spiritually electrifying, showcasing Jagannath's compassion through organized calmness and art living practices woven seamlessly into tradition. So, how can Sehet Samadhi meditation complement the deep bhakti of devotees who spend long hours in darshan queues at Jagannath temple? Yes, waiting for darshan is itself a tapasya, but minds often grow restless. Sahat Samadhi meditation can help devotees slip into effortless meditation, turning waiting time into a spiritual retreat. Trained volunteers could guide small groups in Sahaj techniques, allowing them to experience silence even before meeting the deity. Imagine stepping into the sanctum not with restless thoughts, but with a heart already centered in peace. This way, darshan becomes deeper, not rushed. Sahit Samadhi transforms queues into corridors of bliss, and every devotee leaves with both the darshan of Lord Jagannath and inner darshan of the self. How would introducing pranayama practices like Nadi Shodhan and Bhastrika enhance the rituals of Sandhya Vandanam performed by temple priests? Jagadevi's Sandhya Vandanam is already centered on prana, but many priests perform it mechanically. Adding art of living pranayamas restores its vibrancy. Nadi Shodhan balances Ida and Pingla nadis before chanting Gayatri, deepening mantra resonance. Bhastrika energizes the system, making priests alert before pujas. When priest's breath is aligned, their chanting carries a pranic power, benefiting devotees who listen. This fusion revives the original intent of Sandhya Vandanam, not as ritual alone, but as a pranic transformation. Thus, ancient Vedic tradition meets a modern structured breathing, making every prayer radiate stronger vibrations across Jagannath Puri. How would combining Padma sadhana with temple rituals support the physical and mental well being of temple priests and workers? Yes, Jagar, the priests and workers spent long hours standing, chanting, and serving. Physical fatigue often leads to health issues. Padma sadhana, with its structured yoga postures, prepares the body for stillness and energy flow. Practicing it daily before temple duties keeps their spine strong, joints flexible, and minds calm. When followed by meditation, it reduces burnout. Thus, the Sevayat performs rituals not with exhaustion but with renewed vitality. This integration ensures their health is preserved, their chanting flows with clarity, and Jagannath's Seva continues unhindered for generations, supported by strong bodies and peaceful minds. Can Trikal Sandhya in Puri temple be reimagined with the guided meditations from Gurudev, amplifying its spiritual potency? Yes, the Trikal Sandhya, the thrice daily prayer, is a Vedic anchor. If it includes short guided meditations by Gurudev, the experience becomes universal and accessible. Morning meditation can set intention, noon meditation can rejuvenate, and evening meditation can dissolve the body's fatigue. The day's fatigue, devotees, priests, and even visitors from abroad can participate without losing the Sanskrit core of Sandhya. This creates three collective waves of silence across Puri every day. The Trikal Sandhya would no longer remain only a priestly practice but become a people's meditation, turning the entire city into a living ashram of Jagannath. Jai Gurudev, so how can temple bhojanam or food rituals incorporate art of living principles of mindful eating and sattvic living? Jagannath's Mahaprasad at Puri is divine, but often devotees eat it quickly, missing the meditative dimension. If art of living's principles are introduced, devotees can be guided to eat Mahaprasad mindfully with the gratitude, savoring each bite as Jagannath's blessing. Training at temple cooks in sattvic practices ensures food is prepared with chanting and meditation. Infusing higher vibrations, workers can also follow balanced sattvic diets, reducing fatigue. In this way, Bhojanam transforms from mere eating into a sadhana, a ritual where body, mind, and spirit are nourished equally, spreading Jagannath's blessings through sacred food practices. Now, what role would Upanayana ceremonies play if integrated with art of living breath and meditation practices? Yes, Jagadev, Upanayana marks spiritual initiation. Today, many boys undergo it ritually without inner transformation. By integrating breath practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Sehat Samadhi meditation, Upanayana becomes alive again. The boy not only receives the Gayatri mantra, but also the ability to meditate deeply, connect with his breath, and manage his mind. He learns responsibility with spiritual strength. Parents and families can join guided meditations, making the samskara a shared experience. This creates not just a religious rite, but a lifelong foundation for spiritual living, ensuring Jagannath's grace is carried into every action of the initiated youth. Jagadev, so could art of living wisdom books and videos become part of the learning curriculum for priests and devotees in Jagannath Puri? Yes, introducing Gurudev's wisdom through books and videos can bridge ancient and modern spirituality. Priests can study texts like celebrating silence alongside scriptures, understanding how Vedic knowledge applies to daily stress. Devotees waiting in temple rest halls can watch Gurudev's talk subtitled in multiple languages, including Odia, Hindi, and English. Experiencing calmness even before darshan workshops can be conducted in temple libraries where sevayats learn both shastras and practical wisdom. This dual curriculum of shastra and experience ensures that Jagannath Puri remains not only a ritual center but also a global university of spirituality where knowledge meets practice seamlessly. Jai Gurudev, so how would homas in Jagannath temple gain new dimensions with the art of living's guided meditative techniques? Homas are already rich with mantras, but their experiential depth often escapes devotees. With Gurudev's guidance, each homa can be prefaced by short pranayama and collective meditation. As mantras rise, devotees will already be centered, making the fire ceremony more transformative. Priests equipped with a calm breath will chant with a heightened resonance. After the Homa, guided silence can help everyone absorb the vibrations. Thus, the Homa becomes not only a ritual offering but also a meditative journey for all present, where fire, breath, and silence unite, amplifying Jagannath's blessings across the temple and city. So, if Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji were to accept the position of Chief Shankaracharya, how would you envision Sudarshan Kriya becoming a daily practice for temple priests and sevaks? Sudarshan Kriya, being the cornerstone of art of living practices, would become a transformative addition to the daily routine of priests and sevaks. Early mornings could begin with this rhythmic breathing technique, cleansing the system of stress and fatigue while awakening energy and devotion. This would allow priests to perform rituals with a heightened awareness and purity. Sevaks and employees who often experience physical strain would find rejuvenation and mental calmness. In the sacred environment of Puri, Sudarshan Kriya would amplify spiritual vibrations, making rituals more powerful and fostering a deeply joyful collective consciousness. So, how would a practice of guided meditation be integrated into the rituals of Jagannath Puri temple for both priests and devotees? Yes, guided meditation could be seamlessly woven into temple rituals before major ceremonies or offerings. Priests might lead short sessions of guided meditation for sevaks and devotees gathered within the premises. These meditations, inspired by Gurudev's wisdom, would calm the mind and prepare individuals to absorb the sacred energy of the temple. Devotees, often rushing or distracted, would become more centered and receptive to spiritual blessings. Special meditation halls could also be created for deeper guided sessions where visitors and locals alike would experience profound peace, ensuring their temple visit is not just ritualistic but also deeply transformative. Now, what role could Sahat Samadhi meditation play in transforming the spiritual environment of Puri's residents? Yes, Jaygurudev Sahat Samadhi meditation offers effortless transcendence, bringing a deep rest that dissolves stress and promotes inner clarity. For residents of Puri, including shopkeepers, vendors, and families, this practice would nurture resilience and harmony in their daily lives. As temple town residents interact constantly with pilgrims, Sahat Samadhi would help them radiate peace and patience. Priests and scholars could also adopt it for greater insight in their study of scriptures. Over time, this collective practice would transform Puri not just a pilgrimage site, but a living meditation capital where spirituality permeates every street, conversation, and ritual with serenity. How would pranayamas be incorporated into the daily schedule of priests and temple employees for health and vitality? Yes, pranayamas could be practiced every morning before the commencement of temple rituals. Priests whose responsibilities demand long hours of chanting and physical effort would benefit immensely from pranayamas like Bhastrika, Narishodhan, and Ujjayi. These practices enhance lung capacity, improve clarity of voice, and strengthen energy levels. Temple employees and sevaks who often handle crowds and logistics would feel balanced and stress free. Regular training sessions under certified art of living instructors could be arranged in the temple premises. This integration would ensure everyone serving the Lord does so with vitality, focus, and radiant smile. Can you explain how Shakti Kriya might enhance the devotion and energy levels of priests during elaborate rituals? A Shakti Kriya, a powerful sequence of breathing and meditation techniques taught by Gurudev, enhance life force, energy, or prana in the body. Priests often perform elaborate rituals that require extended chanting, mental focus, and physical stamina. By practicing Shakti Kriya daily, their energy levels would be replenished, enabling them to sustain long ceremonies without fatigue. Moreover, the Kriya deepens devotion by harmonizing emotions and strengthening the connection with the divine. Thus, each mantra chanted would resonate more powerfully, and every offering would carry amplified spiritual energy, creating a heightened sacred atmosphere in the temple. How would Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 fit into the daily practice of temple scholars and spiritual aspirants? Yes, Jagurudev Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2, which combines meditation, silence, and introspection, is ideal for priests, scholars, and spiritual seekers of Jagannath Puri. Devoting time daily or weekly to this practice would allow them to conserve and refine their mental energies. For temple scholars engaged in deep scriptural studies, Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 would sharpen intellect while ensuring humility and devotion remain intact. For aspirants, it would quieten desires and distractions, focusing them on seva and spiritual growth. With time, this discipline would cultivate saints and leaders who not only preserve rituals but also embody the highest wisdom of Sanatan Dharma. So, how could Padma Sadhana complement temple rituals and personal spiritual practices of devotees? Yes, Padma Sadhana, a sequence of yoga postures and meditation, offers both physical flexibility and mental stability. When practiced by priests, it would prepare their bodies for long hours of puja and chanting, preventing fatigue or stiffness. For devotees, Padma Sadhana could be offered as a preparatory practice before darshan or humas. This would help them drop worldly anxieties and step into the temple with reverence and serenity. Regular sessions conducted in temple courtyards would encourage visitors to carry the experience home, making their pilgrimage not only a journey to the temple but also inward. So, what is the significance of Trikal Sandhya and how could its revival enrich Puri's temple tradition? Jai Gurudev, yes. Trikal Sandhya, the practice of prayers at dawn, noon, and dusk, was once an integral part of Vedic tradition. Reviving it with Jagannath Puri would align the temple town with timeless rhythms of nature and spirituality. Priests could lead Mass Trikal Sandhya in the temple premises, supported by Vedic chants and simple meditations. Guided by art of living teachers, devotees and residents could participate, synchronizing their daily lives with these sacred times. Over time, this collective observance would infuse the entire town with purity, discipline, and joy, reinforcing Puri's role as a beacon of dharma and devotion. Jagadev, so how would Upanayana and Upkarma ceremonies benefit from the inclusion of meditation and pranayama practices? Yes, Upanayana or the sacred thread ceremony and Upakarma or annual renewal of vows are milestones for young brahmacharis and priests. Integrating meditation and pranayama into these rituals would help initiates embody the true essence of Vedic wisdom instead of just being symbolic. The ceremonies would become living experiences of inner purity and strength. Meditation would calm young minds, allowing them to imbibe mantras with clarity, while pranayama would stabilize their energies for disciplined study. Thus, these rites of passage would not only mark a ritual transition, but also anchor a lifelong spiritual practice, harmonizing tradition with the inner transformation. So, how could Bhojanam Vidhi or sacred eating practices be aligned with Art of Living's emphasis on sattvic living? Yes, Bhojanam Vidhi emphasizes purity and mindfulness in eating, aligning beautifully with the Alpha Wings' focus on sattvic food. In the reimagined Jagannath Puri, meals for priests, employees, and devotees could begin with short meditations or chants, fostering gratitude and awareness before eating. Food served in the temple kitchens could be prepared with mantras and mindful attention. Following sattvic principles that enhance vitality and calmness, devotees would be educated on how food influences consciousness, encouraging them to carry these practices home. In this way, even dining becomes a sacred ritual, nourishing both the body and soul. Jai Gurudev, so how could Sahat Samadhi meditation be introduced for priests at Jagannath Puri to deepen their connection with the divine? Yes, Jagurdev's Sahit Samadhi meditation provides effortless transcendence beyond the mind into deep rest. For priests who are constantly engaged in rituals, chanting, and seva, Sahat Samadhi would enhance inner clarity and spiritual energy. Practicing it daily ensures their minds remain unburdened and hearts open. This deep silence would reflect in the rituals, making the mantras more powerful by organizing short Sahat Samadhi sessions. During their training, priests could sustain a meditative state throughout their day, allowing divine vibrations to radiate from their presence, uplifting devotees and the temple atmosphere. Now, what impact would Sudarshan Kriya have on temple sevaks who work tirelessly behind the scenes? Sevaks often manage demanding physical tasks, cleaning, cooking, crowd management, and festival arrangements. These responsibilities create fatigue and stress. Sudarshan Kriya, with its rhythmic breathing, detoxifies the system, improving stamina and calms the nervous system. A daily practice would help sevaks remain cheerful, patient, and energetic. More importantly, it builds team harmony, removing irritation and increasing cooperation. With such inner balance, Seva is no longer mechanical but becomes joyful worship. This transformation ensures that even the most routine tasks at Jagannath Puri are performed with devotion, precision, and a spirit of sacred service. How would the integration of Shakti Kriya benefit both priests and visiting devotees? Shakti Kriya awakens subtle energy channels, enhancing vitality and spiritual awareness. For priests, it strengthens their prana, enabling them to chant with vigor and perform rituals with more spiritual force. For devotees, practicing Shakti Kriya before darshan would settle the mind, making the experience of Lord Jagannath more profound. Imagine thousands entering the temple with calm minds and radiant faces. The collective energy would be extraordinary. The temple could hold group Shakti Kriya sessions for visitors, ensuring their pilgrimage becomes a transformative spiritual journey, not just a ritualistic visit, but leaving them rejuvenated and inwardly fulfilled. Now, can ancient Sandhya Vandanam be harmonized with modern guided meditations? Yes, beautifully so. Sandhya Vandanam, performed thrice daily, aligns human consciousness with the cosmic cycles. Guided meditations from Art of Living offer effortless relaxation and expansion of awareness. If we combine them both, priests and devotees would benefit from deep grounding in Vedic tradition while experiencing modern tools to silence the restless mind. For example, after chanting Gayatri Mantra during Sandhya, a 10-minute guided meditation could help participants internalize the mantra vibrations deeply. This harmony preserves tradition while enhancing accessibility, especially for the younger generation, ensuring that Sandhya Vandanam continues to thrive with renewed relevance. Now, what role would Trikal Sandhya play in the daily life of Jagannath Puri residents if enhanced with art of living techniques? Yes, Jagannath Vikas and their morning, noon, and evening worship anchors life in the rhythm of the divine. If residents combine this with pranayamas and guided meditations, their spiritual practices would move from ritual to experience. Early morning Sudarshan Kriya before Sandhya would purify the system. Midday breathing practices would restore energy during work, and evening Sahat Samadhi meditation would dissolve fatigue. This structure would make daily life in Puri naturally sacred. Over time, the entire city would resonate with devotion, calmness, and joy, creating an environment where spirituality is not confined to the temple but infused into every household. Jagadev, so how would Upanayana rituals evolve if Art of Living Wisdom was integrated into priest training? Upanayana symbolizes initiation into spiritual learning, centering on Gayatri Mantra chanting, integrating art flowing wisdom. Young priests could be taught not only mantra recitation but also pranayama, sudarshan, kriya, and sehat samadhi meditation. This would strengthen their ability to sustain the mantras as essence, not merely its sound. Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji's commentaries on mantras could become part of study material, giving deeper context. The initiation would then be holistic, physical, mental, and spiritual. Thus, Upanayana would prepare young priests to lead lives not only rooted in ritual but also radiating experiential wisdom. Could temple workers involved in cooking prasad benefit from meditation practices? Absolutely, preparing Mahaprasad is itself a sacred ritual, but it can become mechanical if the mind is restless. By practicing pranayama and guided meditation before beginning the cooking. Workers would bring purity, patience, and positive energy into every step. Food cooked in such a meditative state carries higher pranic energy, nourishing not just the body but the spirit of devotees. Even simple 15-minute sessions of Bhastrika Pranayama and meditation before cooking would make the offering more sattvic. Devotees eating this prasad would feel not just satisfaction but a deep sense of inner contentment and upliftment. How can study of Gurudev's books and wisdom talks be systematically included for temple priests? Yes, Jacob, the priests traditionally study shastras and commentaries. By introducing Gurudev's books and recorded wisdom sessions, they could connect timeless Vedic knowledge with the contemporary spiritual insights. Weekly study circles could be held where priests discuss Gurudev's interpretation on devotion, meditation, and rituals alongside traditional texts. This dual approach keeps their learning dynamic and relevant. Gurudev's ability to simplify complex truths would deepen priests' understanding and empower them to communicate wisdom to devotees in simple words. Over time, the Jagannath Puri would become a living center of knowledge, bridging Vedic tradition with modern global spiritual discourse. How might Padma enhance the physical well being of priests and temple workers? Yes, Padma is a sequence of yoga postures designed to balance energy and cultivate centeredness. For priests, long hours of standing during rituals or bending during pujas can cause strain. Padma strengthens the spine, improves the flexibility, and removes the fatigue. For temple workers, it builds stamina and focus. Practiced in the temple courtyards early morning, it could create an atmosphere of serenity and discipline. This would not only enhance physical health but also prepare participants for deeper meditation. A body at ease supports a calm mind, and both are essential for carrying out temple duties gracefully. Jai Gurudev, so how can pilgrims benefit from guided deep meditations before entering the sanctum sanctorium? Pilgrims often arrive after long journeys, mentally restless and physically tired. Guided group meditations before darshan would settle their minds, reduce restlessness, and align their energy. This ensures that when they stand before Lord Jagannath, they are inwardly still and receptive. Such silence magnifies the darshan experience, making it transformative rather than fleeting. Imagine thousands sitting together in silence before entering the sanctum. The collective prana would elevate the entire temple vibration. This practice would not only benefit individuals but also maintain order, discipline, and serenity within the temple complex, enhancing the sacred atmosphere manifold. So, how would the presence of art of living techniques like Padma Sadhana enhance the personal strength and mental clarity of priests in Jagannath Puri temple? Padmasana strengthens the body and calms the mind, preparing priests for long hours of rituals with the greater stability. By incorporating this daily, their energy is conserved and their focus sharpens. Priests often stand for hours during artis and Mahaprasad offerings. Padmasadna prevents fatigue and creates inner tranquility. This balanced state ensures that they can maintain devotion without strain. When priests radiate peace and strength, the vibrations affect every devotee. Thus, Padma Sadhana not only supports their well being but also enhances the sanctity of Jagannath's worship atmosphere. Jagdev, so how could Shakti Kriya practice by temple employees bring a new sense of discipline and positivity in their daily tasks? Yes, Jagadev, Shakti Kriya clears deep rooted impressions and renews life energy. For temple employees, from cooks preparing Mahaprasad to guards at the gates, discipline and cheer are vital. By practicing Shakti Kriya, negativity and monotony dissolve, replaced with enthusiasm and devotion. Tasks that earlier felt burdensome become an offering. A cleaner sweeping the courtyard with a peaceful mind creates a divine environment for pilgrims. The Shakti Kriya would uplift every role, ensuring the temple functions not just efficiently but with a vibration of seva and sacredness. Jai Gurudev. So, could Sehat Samadhi meditation be included in training programs for young sevaks, and how would it benefit their spiritual foundation? Absolutely, Sehat Samadhi meditation cultivates deep rest and connects young minds with the inner silence. Sevaks entering temple service often face intense work schedules. Early introduction of Sehat Samadhi helps them manage stress while keeping their devotion intact. It lays a spiritual foundation beyond ritual, allowing them to experience Lord Jagannath within. This direct connection fosters purity, humility, and dedication. Over time, these sevaks won't just serve as workers but as spiritual ambassadors, radiating peace to pilgrims. Such an initiation could redefine the future generation of temple service. How might introducing Trikal Sandhya with the guided meditation impact the rhythm of the temple town of Puri? The Trikal Sandhya of morning, noon, and evening prayers, when combined with the guided meditation, could synchronize the collective rhythm of Puri. Imagine thousands pausing at dawn with their chanting and meditation, at noon aligning with Lord Jagannath's bhoga, and at dusk offering silence during Sandhya Arti. This alignment would infuse spiritual rhythm into everyday life, where shopkeepers, residents, and priests and visitors would move with greater harmony. Just as the sea tides follow cosmic rhythms. The town would flow in meditative cadence. It would make Puri not only a pilgrimage site but a living spiritual ecosystem. So, how would Upanayana or the sacred thread ceremony be reimagined with art of living practices for young boys in Puri? Yes, traditionally, Upanayana introduces children to sacred chanting and discipline with art of living integration. The ceremony could also initiate them into pranayama, sudarshan kriya, and simple meditation alongside learning Gayatri Mantra. They would also learn to manage their breath and mind. This fusion ensures that spiritual initiation isn't just ritualistic but also experiential. Children would grow with a balanced intellect, compassion, and resilience. Such reimagined Upanayana prepares you to carry forward both Vedic wisdom and modern wellness practices, preserving tradition while empowering them for contemporary challenges. Now, what role can Upakarma and Sandhya Vandanam play if combined with breath work and meditation in temple routines? Yes, Jagannath Upakarma is the annual renewal of vows and chanting, while Sandhya Vandana maintains daily discipline. If these rituals are paired with pranayama and guided meditation, they become more impactful. Chanting purifies speech, breathwork purifies energy, and meditation purifies the mind. Together, they complete the spiritual cycle. For priests and devotees alike, this ensures rituals aren't mechanical but deeply experiential. Puri could set a precedent by showing how timeless rituals, enhanced with breath and meditation, nourish every aspect of life. Such practices keep tradition vibrant and relevant. How would a regular bhojanam vidhi or a sacred eating practices with mindfulness meditation influence pilgrims partaking in Mahaprasad? Mahaprasad at Jagannath Temple is not ordinary food, it's considered divine. If pilgrims are guided to eat with mindfulness meditation, acknowledging each bite as sacred, the experience transforms completely. Instead of rushing, devotees would savor the prasad with gratitude, silence, and awareness. This shift deepens devotion and enhances digestion. The act of eating itself becomes meditation, a dialogue with the Lord Jagannath. Over time, such mindful bhojanam practices could redefine the global view of Mahaprasad not just as food but as a path to inner sanctity. Jagadev, so could pujas and homas in Puri integrate silent meditation breaks, and how would that amplify the rituals? Yes, incorporating moments of silence during pujas and homas enhance their potency. After chanting or fire offerings, pausing in meditation allows participants to absorb the vibrations deeply instead of only external activity. The ritual then penetrates inward. For example, after Sahasranama Archana, A few minutes of guided silence can connect devotees to the essence of the prayer. Homas with Sudarshan Kriya before or after would balance energy, making offerings more heartfelt. As such integration bridges outer ritual with inner realization, giving pilgrims a holistic spiritual experience. Jai Gurudev. So, how can studying Gurudev, His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar Jesus' wisdom books and videos benefit priests alongside traditional scriptures? Yes, Jagannath priests already study Vedas and Puranas. Gurudev's wisdom provides contemporary application of these truths. His books and talks explain how ancient principles relate to modern challenges of stress, relationships, global peace. By studying both scriptures and Gurudev's teachings, priests would embody tradition with practicality. They could then guide devotees not just in rituals but also in daily living. This dual study bridges ancient philosophy and modern psychology. For Jagannath Puri, it would create priests who are not only ritual experts but compassionate spiritual mentors. Jagadev, so how would introducing Sahat Samadhi meditation retreats for residents of Puri transform the town's environment? Yes, Sahaj retreats offer deep rest and dissolve accumulated stress. If residents from fishermen to shopkeepers participate regularly, the collective tension of urban life would ease, conflicts would reduce, cooperation would increase, and joy would spread. Tourists visiting Puri would instantly feel the presence in the air. Just as the ocean by Puri calms the heart, Sahaj retreats would calm the mind of the community. Over time, Puri would not just be known for rituals and festivals, but also as a global hub of meditation and inner silence. So, if Gurudev were Shankaracharya of Jagannath Puri, how would Padma Sadhana be introduced among the priests before morning rituals? Yes, Jai Gurudev. Padma Sadhana is a graceful sequence of yoga postures given by Gurudev that harmonizes body, breath, and mind. If integrated at Puri, priests could begin their day with Padma Sadhana before Mangala Arti. This would prepare them with physical flexibility, balanced energy, and a centered mind. When they then perform Abhishekam, Alankaram, or Arati, their presence would radiate purity. This ancient modern synthesis could become the temple's unique signature, inspiring other sacred centers in India to combine yoga with seva and worship seamlessly. Now, what role can Shakti Kriya play for the sevaks and workers managing temple crowds? Yes, Shakti Kriya is a powerful breathing technique that releases deep stress and awakens inner energy. The sevaks and security staff at Puri often face high pressure situations managing huge crowds during Rath Yatra or daily darshan. By practicing Shakti Kriya regularly, they would gain emotional balance, increase their energy and resilience. Instead of getting exhausted or frustrated, they could maintain calm smiles, offer compassionate service, and respond wisely to challenges. This would transform crowd management into a peaceful spiritual seva, ensuring every pilgrim's experience is smooth and sacred. Now, how does Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 workshops benefit the youth in Puri? A Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2, a combination of silence, pranayama, and meditation, cultivates self control, clarity, and inner joy. For the youth of Puri who may be drawn into distractions or restlessness, Sanyam workshops could provide focus and direction. Imagine students practicing silence retreats near Jagannath Temple, guided by art of living teachers and temple priests. They would experience deep peace, improved memory, and reduced anxiety. By aligning with the sacred vibrations of Lord Jagannath, they would grow into balanced leaders rooted in dharma, carrying forward both tradition and modern innovation. Could Trikal Sandhya become a model for global devotees through the temple? Yes, Trikal Sandhya prayers at dawn, noon, and dusk is a timeless Vedic practice. If Puri Temple adopts Art of Living's guided meditations at these three times, streamed online, it could reach millions worldwide. Devotees sitting in America, Europe, or Africa could join the priest live in morning chants, guided pranayama at noon, and evening meditation with Arti. This fusion of tradition and technology would globalize Jagannath's blessings. The temple would not just be a physical pilgrimage site, but also a living spiritual university guiding humanity three times a day. How would Upanayam Samskar be rejuvenated with the meditation at Jagannath Puri? Yes, Upanayam, the sacred thread ceremony, is about initiating a child into spiritual learning. If art of living methods are added, children could receive not just mantras but also experience simple meditations and breath practices. Imagine young brahmacharis at Puri learning Gayatri Japa along with guided meditation sessions. Attention meditations. This would ensure that the ritual is not mechanical but experiential, where the child truly feels connected to divinity. The temple could then offer model Upanayam ceremonies, blending Vedic chanting, Gurudev's wisdom, and experiential silence, setting a new benchmark. How can Upakarma rituals be enhanced with art of living breathing practices? Yes, Upakarma, the annual renewal of Gayatri Mantra practice, involves letting go of past karmas and beginning afresh. A priest guide devotees to practice Bhastrika Pranayama and Sudarshan Kriya before the Sankalpa. Participants would release accumulated stress deeply when they then take up their sacred resolutions. The mind would be light and the heart open. This integration of pranayama with the Vedic tradition would magnify the impact of the ritual. Jagannath Puri could become a spiritual hub where ancient samskaras are infused with modern scientific breathing wisdom. How would Bhojanam Vidhi evolve with the art of living awareness practices in Puri? Yes, Bhojanam Vidhi is a ritualized way of offering gratitude before eating. In Puri, where lakhs receive Mahaprasad daily, this could be elevated with a short guided meditation. Before distributing or partaking in Mahaprasad, devotees could close their eyes, take deep breaths, and offer silent gratitude. This mindfulness transforms eating into a spiritual act. Mahaprasad then becomes not just food but a healing prasad, nourishing body and spirit. If taught systematically, it could make Puri the first global example of combining mindful eating with temple prasadam traditions. Could Sandhya Vandanam be made more experiential for priests with Sahat Samadhi meditation? Yes, Sandhya Vandanam, the twilight prayer, involves chanting mantras at dusk. Often rituals remain external. Sahat Samadhi would help priests internalize them. After chanting, priests could be guided into effortless meditation, letting the mantras dissolve into silence. This would deepen their spiritual experience, making their service more heartfelt. Visitors who witnessed priests radiating peace after such meditation would feel devotion more strongly. Over time, Sandhya Vandanam at Puri could be renewed and renowned globally as a unique blend of Vedic chanting followed by stillness meditation, drawing seekers from everywhere. Now, how would homas and yagyas and pujas at Jagannath Puri benefit from artificial breathing techniques? Yes, homas and yagyas are fire offerings that purify the environment. If priests and participants prepare with pranayama and sudarshan kriya, their minds become calm and intentions of sankalpa more powerful. Chanting during yagya would carry deeper vibrations, and devotees would feel tangible shifts in consciousness. For large-scale yagyas like during Rath Yatra, thousands could join in collective kriya before mantras, amplifying collective energy. This would make Jagannath Puri's homas not just rituals of fire, but transformative community experiences where divine vibrations penetrate body, mind, and environment. How can the study of Gurudev's wisdom through books and videos become a structured part of Puri temple life? Yes, Gurudev's commentaries, wisdom talks, and guided meditations are treasures. The temple could set up learning halls where priests, sevaks, and devotees engage daily in structured sessions. For example, after evening darshan, one hall could play Gurudev's talks on Bhagavad Gita or Ashtavakra Gita, followed by group reflection. Books could be integrated into temple libraries for study circles. Videos of Gurudev guiding meditation could be shown in visitor centers. Thus, Puri would not just offer darshan but ongoing wisdom training, ensuring devotees carry Jagannath's message home as practical knowledge. Now, how could the inclusion of Padma Sadhana help priests and sevaks maintain physical health given the demanding hours of seva in Jagannath Puri temple? Yes, Jai Gurudev, Padma Sadhana is a beautiful blend of asanas, breath awareness, and meditation taught in Art of Living. For priests and sevaks who stand for hours during rituals, this practice would strengthen their spine, improve circulation, and keep joints flexible. Combined with chanting, it instills reverence and devotion physically. It prevents fatigue mentally, it nurtures clarity and calm. If integrated into the temple routine, sevaks would serve with more joy and less stress. Padma sadhana can become a daily energizer before Mangala Arti, ensuring priests are aligned in body, mind, and spirit of seva. Now, what is the role of Trikal Sandhya in Vedic life, and how could it merge with the art of living meditative practices at Jagannath Temple? Yes, Trikal Sandhya, the thrice daily prayer at dawn, noon, and dusk, harmonizes human consciousness with the cosmic rhythms. Traditionally, it includes Gayatri Japa, water oblations, and contemplation. If art of living meditation methods are woven into this practice, the effect would be profound. Sudarshan Kriya before morning Sandhya could purify energy, afternoon guided meditation could stabilize prana, evening Sahat Samadhi meditation could restore deep inner peace. Together, these would transform Sandhya into a holistic renewal of spirit. In Jagannath Temple, this synthesis would uplift not just priests but devotees, embedding meditative awareness into every prayer cycle. Now, how would introducing Upanayam or the sacred thread initiation with the art of living wisdom benefit the young boys in Puri who train for temple duties? Yes, the Upanayana marks the beginning of disciplined spiritual education. Traditionally, it imparts Gayatri mantra and Sandhya rituals. If this initiation also included Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation, the young boys would not only memorize mantras but also, also embody their inner essence. Art of living practices would sharpen concentration, reduce distractions, and nurture compassion. This would create priests who are not ritualistic alone but deeply spiritual, radiating serenity. Puri could then be home to the next generation of priest scholars rooted in Vedic tradition, yet modern in emotional intelligence, service orientation, and meditative depth. How might Upakarma, the ritual of refreshing Vedic learning, annually be enriched through Gurudev's guided meditations and study sessions? Yes, Gurudev, Upakarma is a sacred day, is a sacred thread ceremony and the day when Vedic students renew their commitment to learning, chanting, and self-discipline. Traditionally, it involves donning new threads, repentance, and mantra recitation. By introducing Gurudev's guided meditations on that day, the participants would go beyond intellectual learning into experiential wisdom. Reading from Gurudev's books or watching his discourses during Upakarma could reframe ancient rituals in the light of contemporary challenges. Thus, Upakarma would not just be ritual renewal, but a realignment of mind and spirit with eternal dharma. For Puri, this synthesis would anchor tradition and living, breathing spirituality. Now, can temple bhojanam vidhis or food rituals incorporate the art of living emphasis on sattvic diet and mindful eating for residents and devotees? Oh, absolutely. Jagannath Temple already has a grand tradition of Mahaprasad, where food is cooked in earthen pots and shared as divine blessings. Art of Living emphasizes sattvic bhojan, light, fresh vegetarian meals eaten with awareness. By blending the two, meals could become moments of meditation. Priests, sevaks, and devotees can be trained to eat in silence for a few minutes, savoring gratitude and pranic energy in food. Cooking seva can be done with chanting and meditation, along with the serving seda, followed by Sudarshan Kriya. This not only enhances health and digestion, but also transforms the act of eating into a spiritual experience of oneness. Jagannath.